you have to have balance. The checklist create the balance. But now on the same hand, the checklist, and if you read the book by Michael Gerber, you can over systematize. And not every shoe fits every person or every call.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Plumbing and HVAC Hustle Podcast. And today I've got Bob Beal from Bob the Plumber. How you doing, Bob?
Fantastic, Tim.
And Bob, you've gone from how long did it take you to go from to 42 trucks? Because that's extraordinary, and I would love to hear a little bit of your story.
Well, I guess more so that it's just to grow it is takes work, takes perseverance, takes work,
Yeah,
takes systems. The more systems we get in place, the easier it is to add a truck. You get one truck, okay, and then everybody keeps talking about 10xing it. How do you 10x it? Multiple trucks just doing the same thing one truck does, and just two trucks, three trucks, and so on, and exponentially grow.
yeah. When did it take off for you? Like, how long ago? And then kind of trying to understand that inflection point from where you were kind of, a lot of people go flat for a little while and then they hit something that creates growth. What was that for you?
Well, so we opened up in 2000, and it grew pretty easy to get to about five trucks. Then I definitely had a plateau, and I think what happens is that's when the owner, which was me at the time, has to release control more to allow it to grow. I think sometimes I was holding it back at that five truck mark. And that's where I kind of phased myself out and let one of my managers step in. I think that kind of created a balance out.
Yeah, just give me a little bit more of your story overall, um, unique challenges, your background, like how'd you get into plumbing, etc.
Yeah, that's a good question. So I was actually born in a little town in Ohio, northeast Ohio, and I was born totally blind. My left eye is shot. My right eye has just 20/200 vision in it. But I used the analogy I was throwing in the ditch. So my dad was a master plumber, and I learned plumbing from him, and I'm licensed master plumber in 5 states now. Uh, I can, I know a lot about plumbing per se, or sometimes I tell people I know a lot about shit.
Can I ask some obvious questions here? Like,
Sure.
how the hell are you doing plumbing being legally blind? Is that mean to ask?
No, not at all. Not at
Tell me how
all.
you do that.
I don't really know. People ask me that question all the time. And I'm like, I guess it's kind of like plumbing by feel.
Yeah.
It's I do it. I guess is the word. Best way to describe it.
Has that created any unforeseen benefits? Like, is there anything that you feel like that's benefited? A lot of times we have these like drawbacks in our life or these things that happen. Has there been anything that's like, I wouldn't have thought it, but being blind has helped me in this way, in this trade?
Many homes suffer from inefficient HVAC systems due to leaky ducts, leading to uneven room temps, lost airflow, and higher energy costs. AeroSeal's innovative sealant technology targets and repairs leaks, improving airflow and efficiency. Increase your customer satisfaction, increase sales, and offer a unique market advantage. Become a leader in HVAC efficiency. AeroSeal.com.
Well, other than the to get in front of the line at the airport, I haven't really found a reason to benefit it me.
Okay, I'm sorry for that. That question sucks.
No, that was a good question. I
Yeah.
mean, hey, all you gotta do is tell the airport, "Hey, I'm blind." They let you come right up front there.
Okay. Um, Tell me some of the other unique challenges, maybe as a leader, or other things that, because of your unique circumstance, have been challenging. Like, what else does that have any drawbacks as far as your leadership or your it takes more work in other areas that you can talk about?
Well, it definitely might take a little more work, but once the guys actually see me that I can actually jump in a ditch and I could hang with them and work right with them, it gives a lot of credibility when they realize I'm not just some guy sitting in an office.
All right, so you can dig too, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
What's the craziest scenario you've ever had to deal with as a plumber? Like, what's a story that was particularly unique as a plumber? Like, bring me down there to the moment, like an issue you faced or something that was crazy.
Oh wow, there's been so many over the years.
Usually, I think about like horror story jobs or something like that that like was super hard, but you got through it.
Yeah, I mean we've had them. We've had them. Probably the biggest one that I remember was when I was pretty young. We were changing a pit, a vault, a check valve that went from one vault to another vault for an on-site sewage plant. We had to go down in there, and we were up to our chest in sewage, and we had plugged the hole going from the one pit to the other pit. That was quite an experience.
Up to your chest in sewage. So I'm not a
Yes.
plumber. Give me like a how often. I don't fully understand the trade, so I'm just the outside guy. But how often do you have to be down in there with the stuff?
Uh, Not that often.
Okay, but it does happen though every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, you sometimes you got to jump down a manhole, jet it out sometimes, but for the most part, you're not really down right in there with it.
Okay. I'm getting to the questions that matter here. I think it's good. So as you're, I know that recruiting, obviously, with that many trucks, that's a real dilemma for a lot of trades businesses right now. Some people would say the up and coming generation doesn't have the work ethic. How do you respond to that question, knowing that you've probably had to deal with some of that?
Well, it's just like anything else in life. The people tell you there's nobody out there. You can't find people that want to work. You just got to keep trying. Um, you just got to keep trying. I mean, I just ran. Don't ask me why, but I ran a Facebook ad under Marketplace under jobs. My phone blew up over it. You got to get creative. Um, I've actually made TV commercials saying "help wanted." The more creative, the more specific you get, the better chance you have of something working.
All right. And when you think about what makes your company a better company to work for than other businesses, what's your perspective on that? Why do you think it is a better choice for somebody to come work for you guys than somebody else?
I mean, I could go on forever and tell you reasons. Number one, because you're working. I hate to say that people are working for me. They work with me. We work together. We are a family. We are a team here. There's nobody sitting on a glass pedestal here. I have no problem going out right now with a guy. Do I want to? No, but I'm available 24/7 for anybody on my team. Secondly, is we've never had layoffs. 25 years, we've never laid anybody off. So I think that's a great attribute. We keep guys busy year round.
How about as a business model? Like when you look at plumbing, I know we're not trying to create competitors here, but what do you think is unique and interesting about the plumbing trade that people should be considering it? Maybe if they had the option between this and another trade, like what do you think is like compelling about this as a business model and as a trade?
Well, I think as a business model, I think it's a phenomenal business. People are always going to be going to the bathroom. Every new building out there has more and more plumbing in it nowadays. I mean, the infrastructure requires more unique plumbing. I mean, from fill valves to everything out there, from to water coolers to temperatures to the technology is just extremely advanced with it. I think that's one of the big reasons that to keep plumbing growing the way it is, and then yet alone the big work, the union work, the big skyscrapers. They're going to be taking plumbers out of doing side work, so that's going to leave more service work available for guys like us.
Bob, what do you think? What do you say to the earlier plumbers right now? I'm just going to talk about somebody I chatted with recently. I was down at a event. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Plumbing Hacks. I was just at Plumbing Hacks. And there was somebody talking about how, as a son of a plumber, and they were kind of like, they're in business together, but it's like it's them and a couple other people. One of them's a family member, and they've been having a hard time growing the team. I think that there's kind of this question: should I grow? Should I grow, or should I just keep it my tight little business that I feel control over? The question is, should I grow? What do you say to the folks that feel like they should grow or shouldn't grow, or like they kind of like they feel control when they're a smaller business essentially?
Well, I'm not going to tell anybody they should grow. All right, I'm going to tell you if you want to grow, go for it. Okay, it's not that bad. There's a lot of good people out there that need a lot of training. I'm an advocate of growing. I'm an advocate of training. But should you grow? That's if your heart desires.
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna grow, all right, I'm gonna give you some hints. Okay, grow methodically. Don't try to grow too fast, because that'll get yourself in trouble. I've done it, so I'm telling you from experience. Add one truck a month. Add one truck every other month. Have a plan. That way, you're not just throwing people out on the road.
Mhm.
So methodically grow with a plan, and you'll grow fine if you want to. Next is make sure you know when you need to add that layer of management. You can't try to do it all yourself. Don't be afraid to add that layer of management when you need to.
What is the appropriate time to add that layer of management? What if you had a team size that makes sense to do that? What would you say to people?
If you're strictly plumbing, when you're just one trade, plumbing, electrical, or heating, I believe once you have about 6 to 8 trucks on the road, you need one, what I call a field manager, to go out and be running around the road. That way you can still do your owner stuff, and you have one guy in the field kind of overseeing your work.
And that person's day to day, talk to me about what they're responsible for versus what you keep on your head as an owner.
They're basically totally responsible for production. Um, you know, Freddie goes to the house and he's needs a 50-gallon power vent water heater. He needs a bunch of Class B pipe. Okay, where are you doing with this at, Freddie? All right, I'll have it here in the morning for you. You call a supplier and they order it. We're going to be moving an AC unit. Not that we do a lot of that, but we're moving one. They have the pump. They're ready to vacuum it down. The kind of a project coordinator. Oh, we need a pump for that job. Oh, you need the big water key for that job. That. Oh, we're doing a water line over there. Okay, we need the burst pipe. We're going to do burst over there.
Yeah.
Somewhere right around 6, 8 trucks.
And then would you
I
say
believe
add additional layers as you double that, or where would you say like the next line of management would come in, like where you need an additional leader?
well, so 6 to 8 trucks. All right.
Like I'm saying that
You should be doing about 2.5 million a year in revenue.
okay.
All right. Then you have one layer in there, uh, and then you start taking on a little larger work. And I don't mean I still mean all service work.
Yeah.
All right. And once you get to about 10 trucks, you might need a second guy at that layer. and you know, once you get 30 trucks,
Okay.
we have one service manager runs about 19 trucks, and the other guy runs 11 trucks. The excavation guy, but they're all 2-man trucks,
Okay.
and these guys work hard.
Yeah. And yeah, that level, that's a good point. That Bob, I appreciate you defining that. They work hard. Talk to me about the balance between their work and their overseeing things and what the you know what I'm saying? Like some people don't think of that as work. How do you feel about that? Like how much should they be getting in the trenches versus just making sure no one hurts themselves basically?
Well, I have an adamant belief that you should inspect what you expect.
Yes.
Okay, you have to, repeat that again. You have to inspect what you expect.
Yes, sir.
So I am all over my managers to be out there in the field with the guys.
Okay.
Let alone, do I want to see that all the fern codes are lined up? Do I want to see all the lettering in the pipe lined up? Absolutely. But I want to see that everything's safe out there. Installation and stuff is done professionally, and we're doing things the right way.
What's this is a question that keeps coming up in my business, and I think it probably relates. Is that balance between systems and smart people? You know, I think about like some people over systematize, and I'm like, just be smart. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have to system. There's a certain level where it's too much, right? What? Talk to me about that topic. And what is the level of like checklists versus like I just want smarter people if you can't figure it out? Like, do you have a lot of checklists and systems like that, or do you kind of veer towards I just want you to be able to figure it out? You're a smart person.
I'd say there's a happy balance.
Yeah.
We have a lot of checklists, and these checklists require us to create a good balance of systems and processes. You have to have balance,
Yeah.
and the checklists create the balance. But now, on the same hand, the checklist, and if you read the book by Michael Gerber,
Yeah.
you can
E-myth.
over
E-myth revisited. Yeah.
systematize, and I think that's what you're asking.
Yes.
And not every shoe fits every person
Yeah.
or every call. The biggest problem I believe right now going on that's affecting our business, but it's affecting our business, my business in a good way, is I don't believe in this AI answering the phone yet.
Okay.
I think people hang up on it, and I think they call a real person that answers the phone, and I think that's why our business is doing good right now.
Yeah, and there's something there too where people are like getting a little too automated. And that's another example of like over processing something that like that is the point, for a lot of businesses is people are coming to you for customer service. And if you're trying to like save a little money on customer service, they might just say no.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of ways to use AI, but maybe customer service isn't the main spot to try to save money. I don't know.
No, not at all. It's the first point of contact with a customer.
With the like checklists and systems and stuff like that, what's one of those that you guys have that you feel like is above average for your industry? What's a system or checklist that you feel like has either saved you a lot of time or money or headaches that you could share with other plumbers?
No, I believe our onboarding system is second to none.
Yeah.
How we bring a person aboard, we run their DMV right in the application process.
Yeah.
Right into HR. They're immediately set up on HR, so they're covered on insurance. Right after the license are approved, they go around, they meet everybody in the company, right down to getting their uniform sizes. If we have the uniform shirts in stock, they get them right in uniform. I think it's a really good system the way we do it.
That's awesome. Can you elaborate a little bit on that, Bob? Like anything else that it does that's above average?
Well, it's just very efficient.
Yeah.
Again, right, boom, right, large, okay, six t-shirts, six polo shirts. Here you go. It's all systematically laid out. Uh, right down to their paperwork, to health insurance, their bank statement. Uh, they go through that whole process, so we can start paying them on their auto pay hits their bank account quickly.
With so part of this is probably from the because you guys are a franchise, is that correct?
Yes, we are.
And what would you say to folks like between doing a franchise or going from scratch? Like what have been the like major benefits? Some other major benefits that you could share that like kind of made you happy that you did what you did.
Well, I have no, put it this way, this what makes me happy. I would not say anything particularly makes me happy, but I will tell you this way: I have no regrets.
Yeah,
Having the system has been very good to me.
that's cool. Anything else that you're like, if you had to go again, this is why you would choose uh, going into a franchise?
I would definitely, most likely, do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing what I know now, I mean, they keep you on the cutting edge. Uh, you know, nothing's perfect. No two people are perfect. No relationship's perfect. But they keep you on the cutting edge, and they try to do good for us, and I think they do. I think they do a fine job.
It's an extraordinary team. I'm just looking at kind of your team here, a picture that I've got here of your team. When you think about managing the amount of people that, you said 60 people, Pittsburgh and Erie, Pennsylvania, what are some lessons like the last couple years that you feel like you've learned from that process?
Having a remote office a couple hours away, you have to have a good leader,
Mm.
and remote leadership is important as anything else.
And how do you do that well? Or like, what have you learned has like things that have made a difference in making that more effective specifically?
Um, just try to find the right person, and find the right person. And I hate to quote cliches out of books, but hire fast, fire faster.
So you went through a few of those to get to the person you've got today.
Yep.
And how do you know when it's not working? Like, what is the criteria that's like, yep, it's like maybe it's obvious to you, but specifically, what was the reason?
Well, unfortunately, numbers don't lie, so you have to measure your KPIs.
And okay, this is a good one for me too. When do you take responsibility for the KPI? Obviously, they've got their number, but for instance, like I've got young leaders, um, fairly young, younger than me, and I think I'm kind of babysitting them on their number a little bit. I'm like, and I always, like as a leader, I take responsibility a lot. I'm like, well, if it's not right, it's me. And if it's going well, I give them credit, right? But that only goes so far. When do you say, okay, I could have done this, I could have helped them a little bit more, done this better, versus no, you had time, this was your number, and it's not good?
Uh, I'm kind of a little bit of a hot-headed.
Yeah.
You can see pretty quick if something's not going to work.
Yeah.
So I'm all over it right away.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm probably a little bit too fast all over it.
Hey, I think a lot of businesses have the exact opposite problem today. I think that there's a lot of businesses that have three people that they know right now could be let go, but they're just trying to be nice.
Yep. It's a lot of owners have that bad disease.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're familiar with that disease, right?
Yes, yes, that's a very common one, I think.
What, excuse-itis?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then you feel like you're being a good person because you're excusing somebody else.
Right.
But then at the end of the day, if it hurts the rest of the team,
Well, and what you're doing, it affects the whole team because you're basically allowing somebody to steal from the company.
that's real. What is your process for letting somebody go? Do you have like a write up kind of system, or how do you do that?
Yeah, I mean, we do the 1, 2, 3 right up.
Yep.
You're out, you're out.
How quickly do you write somebody up if it's not working? Like, is that in the first month or in the first 6 months? Do you give them a second? I know you said you go too quick, but give me some real timelines here.
We'll write somebody up. We got to see. Basically, I'm looking for the habitual offender.
Yep.
Okay, if you got a guy and he's here for 2 or 3 weeks, and after 3 weeks he shows up late a few minutes one time, I don't shoot him for it. I might say something to him. You know, but I'm shit happens. And you can't really shoot everybody right immediately.
Yeah.
But you got to keep them in check and you got to keep it under control and fair.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you get like real inconsistent, it's like you're in trouble, you're not.
Right.
you know, um, when it comes to letting people go, sorry, I like going into letting people go because it's kind of like a real, like for a
Okay.
while there, like the first like 4 years of my business or something like that, I didn't let anyone go. And I remember people being like, well, until you do that, you haven't even become a real business owner. um, my question to you is, are you involved with every person that gets let go, or do you have other people that are involved with that? How do you choose who's the person making that conversation, having that
It
conversation?
kind of depends what department they fall in.
Okay.
All right. If it's an underground installer, one guy does that. If it's a service tech, another guy does it. If it's a underground installer with a jet, either guy does it. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I do it. It all depends.
Okay.
Nothing. All right.
So we were just talking about who makes those conversations, and then I want to go into something a little bit more positive to round it off. So, um, how about newer plumbing business owners that um, maybe are going through a tough time or a tough season? Have you been through those, and how do you stick with it even when it gets tough? Because a lot of people, you hit a first couple rough patches. It's like, am I cut out for this? So how do you decide whether you're cut out for it, or you should kind of hang up the plunger and go do something new?
All right. So it's called perseverance. You have to persevere through everything.
Yeah,
Always remember, if it was easy, anybody could do it. And you also have to have good cash flow management. And you have to realize that just because you did a job for Mrs. Jones here down the road, and she paid you good money for it, but you have to put some of that away for the business to grow with. Okay. And then you take a reasonable portion of it out. That way, when you need it, when you need money to buy material for the next job, you have some basis to start with.
yeah.
That's probably the hardest advice that you can give a young guy with 2 or 3 trucks. And the other thing too is look for systems. I teach a system. I teach a service MVP system. I'd love to give my plug whenever it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, please go for it.
All right. So my website is bobistheplumber.com.
Mm-hmm.
Bobistheplumber.com is a trainer for a certified service MVP partner, a certified partner, and I love to train. I have systems that I could teach that I believe would help any size business out. So that's what I'm looking to do.
And anything else that you feel like sets you guys apart or your system apart from other options out there?
Um, I think the support that I give these guys is second to none. I think when one of my service techs call me or FaceTime me, I'm here for them, and I tell them, okay, no, let's look at this from a different angle. Let's look at this, and I help them out tremendously. And I think in my other plumbers that do the same thing, I think that makes a world of difference.
Well, Bob, thank you so much for being on the show. Appreciate your time. Can you say that .com one more time for folks?
Yep, bobistheplumber.com. Bobistheplumber.com. Make sure you go to bobistheplumber.com. Scroll down the bottom, fill the form out. You get some free hat and shirt sent to you.
Amazing.
And go to YouTube, subscribe. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Bob. Thank you for being on the show. Everyone, the podcast is put on by hookagency.com, Hook Agency all over social media. Thank you guys for watching, and I will check you out on the next one. Appreciate you guys. Bye.
Still a lot of money chasing these transactions. There's still really good outcomes out there for sellers. It's good to have someone like us in your corner because we're not emotional, but guess what? When you're selling your business, it becomes emotional, and so it's really good to have an intermediary, there every step of the way. www.sfpadvisors.com. All the contact information is directly on the website.
I can't commend Hook Agency enough on just the experience. We're talking about plumbing experience, but the experience we've had overall working with your team members on this project, they really draw out ideas that otherwise I didn't even think of, which is incredible. So thank you guys for being a valued partner of the Family Plumber. I really appreciate that.